Good evening, all. I'm Shashina Roll, and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Well, today was Decision Day as local government elections were held throughout the Family Islands. Here on Grand Bahama, history was made as parliamentary registration officials say a record number of persons signed up to become servants of the people. Some 121 persons offered themselves as candidates. Today, our news team covered the local government election process from East End to West End. And tonight, the $7 million question is, who will emerge as the next group of local government practitioners?
ZNS News Northern Service team coverage of the local government elections begins right now.
Cameraman Quentin Gordon and I began our coverage of the West Grand Bahama District at the West End Primary School, where there were 3 polling divisions. Now, the situation was quite different from the May 10th general election day, as local government voting day got off to a slow start. Voter apathy has been a concern during local government elections for some time now, but some residents still see the importance of participating in this electoral process.
This election, to me, is just as important as a general election. If you care about your community, once again, it's about your community. Seeing that your community is empowered, seeing that your community actually gets the fair share of what is need to be, things that need to be addressed in its community. The government cannot see everything within your little community. You who live in the community know best what it is needed for your community.
I think it's important for us to vote for betterment for our community.
Residents outlined some of the improvements they would like to see within their communities.
We got the seawall issue, the hurricane has always affected us when, it comes, especially if it comes from the north, and then there's a garbage situation, what we desperately need dealt with ASAP.
I just want it to be better for the residents. Certain people inside see grape houses still leaking, and we just got blue pavement over it and what's not. And I just want somebody come in and make a change.
I would like to see some community center be in our community to help the children with their schoolwork, and also where the elderly people could go and relax and communicate and fellowship with each other. After we had the hurricane, many people was out water. Some had to come to my residence to get water. So I like to see them put like a free pump, like when I was growing up, they had free pumps in the community that persons can get water.
Now, while Election Day got off to a slow start here in the West Grand Bahama District, residents say they're looking forward to great things from those persons who will be elected to serve as local government councillors within the various communities. We check in now with Shashina Roll, who's covering 2 areas, Marco City and Pine Ridge.
Thank you so much, Sabrina. Well, we visited the Pine Ridge constituency. That was our first stop. We went to several of the polling divisions, and we can tell you that there was little to no activity, with only about 1 or 2 persons trickling in every few minutes. But we did, however, catch up to 2 of the candidates running in this area. Former police officer Ernie Barr, as well as internet sensation herself, Cindy Patrice Daxon.
The public really, they recognize that from being a police officer, one thing was intact is my integrity. So they want persons to have accountability, and if they feel like the past representative hasn't represented them sufficient to take it over to the next level.
I decided to run for local government because I'm a people's person, you know what I'm saying? And I know how it is to be without. Only those who actually go through it will actually be the only ones to feel it. You understand me? So I know what it is to hear the cry from the poor, because I'm too was once there.
Residents in the Pine Ridge constituency say that they were excited to cast their ballots in the local government election.
The former people who was in place did nothing for Pine Ridge. From the hurricane over, all the bus stops are still broken down. All the parks are still broken down.
We want to see change. Like my brother always says, it's not about FNMs, it's not about PLP, but it's about Bahamians. We want to see change. Local government, these are the representative on the ground.
Well, I think it's important for the locals, in the local area, at least someone from the area will know what you need and from what you don't need in the area and what need to be done.
The process is really quiet, smooth, unlike general election. In and out, do what you got to do.
Now, the situation wasn't that much different in the Marcos City constituency, where we witnessed one or two persons showing up to exercise their democratic right to vote. But we also had an opportunity to speak with some of the candidates, among them the youngest in the race, as well as a veteran in local government and many newcomers.
Well, I thought it was important to run for this local government election, mainly because the youth voice inside Grand Bahama on the whole has been not heard of, and so I want to fill that gap that has been missing for the past years that local government have been established.
For far too long, I've seen a deterioration in Marcos City. The parks to me have not been kept properly since Hurricane Matthew. I think that local government got to step up their game.
I'm still fighting for that point where we would come together as a people, as a community, and say to ourselves, central government is one thing, local government is the other.
And while many persons were disappointed in the low voter turnout, some say they believe that it is because local government is not being taken seriously. Others blame the caliber of some of the candidates, while practitioners say more awareness is needed. Oddly enough, one candidate believes that the publicity surrounding another piqued the interest of many.
She educating the people and making them become more aware of local government. Some person did their own research to find out what local government is all about. And I feel like this will be the best turnout that local government has ever seen.
It's actually correct, and the reason I told someone, I said, and even if I don't win, I like the fact that I wake up a lot of people and let them realize that, hey, local government is very important. So even if I don't win and local government turn into be something that people start to participate in, you understand me, they should award me for that.
Now, Pine Ridge and Marcos City were not the only areas to watch. Our Kimberly Mullings was in central Grand Bahama today, and she can tell you all about the action taking place there.
Thanks, Shashina. Well, as you can imagine, voter anticipation was expected to be high for Central Grand Bahama because it is the largest constituency in the nation. However, voter turnout got off to a slow start Thursday morning. The ZNS News team traveled to the polling station at St. George's High School, where there were 4 polling divisions. By 10:30 a.m., nearly 60 persons had cast their ballots for up to 2 of the 8 candidates offering themselves in the 2017 local government election. Voter Donald Duncombe says despite the low voter turnout, he was determined to let his voice be heard.
One of the things, whenever we have a process as citizens and we ask to participate, we should participate. Now, if we don't understand the process, then we should avail ourselves of trying to understand the process. But local government begins the process of understanding central government.
There was a bit more activity at the polling station over at Sister Mary Patricia Russell Junior High School. Central Grand Bahama candidates Debbie Butterfield and Marco Carey are running on the same ticket. Carey, an incumbent, says he wants to continue working for the people.
Still working with Bohemia Service to put the green space in for the residents of Bohemia. Then Wellington Pender, we're getting ready to create a park in Wellington Pender. Sunrise Park is just about done. The street signs are up, and so we got plenty of initiatives still coming to us, especially in the Cabo Beach area. You see the kids them running on the road playing basketball. We're trying to work along with the Member of Parliament to put a basketball area and a community center in the area.
Our ZNS News team then made our way over to the Lewis Yard Primary School, the 3rd polling station in the Central Grand Bahama constituency, where the voter turnout was similar. Returning officer, Island Administrator for West Grand Bahama, Brenda Colbrook, found the low voter turnout on the island of Grand Bahama rather disappointing and gave her take on the issue.
In a greater portion of the areas, I don't believe that the candidates would have done everything possible to go out there and to sell themselves as good candidates and to help to educate the public as to what local government is about, and so encourage them to come out and vote, because you can't just want to get into local government for getting into it. You have to know what local government is all about.
Now, residents of East Grand Bahama also taking the opportunity to cast their ballots in the local government election today. Our Talia Hall covered the East.
Thanks, Kimberly. Here in East Grand Bahama, residents wasting no time as some were ready when the polls opened. Now, our first stop was in McLeanstown, where residents straggled in one by one, but some shared why they feel it's important to vote in the local government election.
I want to see better in my community, first and foremost.
I like to see a lot of children, a lot of work to do in the settlement, and both the graveyard and the streets and street lights.
local government is very important for the Family Islands. You know, we have everything, when everything is centered in New Providence, central government, it takes a longer time.
I wanted to exercise my right as a citizen because I believe I have a voice in the community and I wanted to speak out.
Residents Joe Hamilton and former councillor Navarre Smith say they are concerned about the low voter turnout.
There's nobody out here, you know. I've been in and out. In 2 minutes I was in and out, you know. It seems that way, that they're not taking it serious because of past years, you know. People believe that local government is something that people go into to see what they could get. But my opinion is there's nothing to get. It's a community service that you provide for your community.
In addition to that, I think, yes, the drama and controversy that local government has been embroiled in over the last several terms has contributed to the lack of interest. But at the same time, I still have a little issue with that because you have drama and controversy at the central level. But when it comes time for general elections, people come out in full force.
Smith says he believes that more time should be spent educating persons about the role of local government.
By putting together perhaps the same kind of committee they did when they promoted other stuff and tasking them with going around the country with seasoned local government practitioners and those who are knowledgeable and educating people through social media and other stuff. Now,
Well, that's the way it was in East Grand Bahama. Overall, residents say they are pleased with the voting process and are looking forward to what's to come. Back to you in the studio, Shishina.
Thank you, Talia. Excellent team coverage from your #1 source in the North. Stay with us, more news right after this.